In this fast-paced digital world, those who execute with speed and precision will win the day. Voice typing, or dictation, is faster than typing with your fingers. Speech recognition software can translate over 150 words per minute, while the average person types around 40 words per minute. The best professional transcriptionists only get up to 80 words per minute, which is also much slower than voice typing. I have heard some people say, well, voice typing isn't very accurate, but that's largely on you. If you enunciate properly and practice, you can get accuracy levels over 95%, and in many cases, 100% accuracy is possible. As you can see, I just voice typed this sentence with 100% accuracy. There's still some grammatical and structural issues to address, but we have a tool for that and we'll talk about that. So the tool we're using is called voice in typing. The reason we use voice in typing because it works in virtually any text field. And so if you're in social media where you're typing in comments or you're typing in for a post or you're doing a WhatsApp web and you're typing in a message, anywhere where there's a Chrome-based field, text field, you can use voice in typing. Now, I'm talking about the paid version here. It's a no-brainer. This tool is so powerful. I use it all day, every day. It's just buy it, okay? It's very well worth it. And they understand that less is more. That's one of the key things that I like about this software. It doesn't do a gazillion extra things. It does exactly what it needs to do and nothing more. For instance, in settings, you can set the language, which I'm going to set to Canada because I'm in Canada. And you can set the font and size. That's all they have in there, right? Now, voice commands, I don't use them too much, but ones such as undo will do the last thing you did. So if I'm typing something, now is the time for all good men. Then I stop typing, then that's what it's going to undo, right? It's not going to do all the rest of the stuff. So if I type something else like this, then it puts it down there and I stop. Each one of those segments can be erased. Undo. 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 The keyboard shortcut to turn on the mic, you can see it's red right now, and now it's not red, is Shift-Control-9. You can change that, but I don't recommend you do. It's a good one that doesn't interfere with most other stuff. And what you really want to do is get used to turning that on and off, because when you're working with someone else, and I work with other people with this and they know we work. So we'll say, okay, quiet, we're going to voice type that, and then we'll voice type it. Sometimes my friend will voice type it because she's better at it than I am. So, or she knows what she was going to say. So I just be quiet and she types. But that works really well because you can start typing. Now I'm going to type something, or I'm going to say something, and it's going to follow what I'm saying. Now I'm going to turn it off because I want to change a different line or do something else, and then I'll turn it back on to say something else. Now that I've turned it back on, it's saying undo. Now that I've turned it back on, it's typing what I'm saying. And I've turned it back off and I'm talking to you guys again. So as you can see, if you get used to doing that, you can turn it on and off here with the mouse. And I do that sometimes, especially when I'm changing between tabs. But within the document, one of the things that's best about this software is it stays on, because there's voice typing built into Google Docs and other Microsoft products and Windows and other things. But largely they turn off when you move to different things, so they're not universal across all of the things you're doing. And if you sit there and don't say anything for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, depends on the one you're using, it will shut off. That is not good. This one I use a lot for that reason, because it's really easy to use. One of the most powerful features is voice commands. We use it to create presets for words that the voice typing won't say, or for phrases that are longer we don't want to say. One of the key ones we use a lot is Client Concierge Service Bot, our program. And it's very difficult for the bot to say that. However, it says concierge every single time, probably because it's a very unique word. So you find a unique word that you want to use as the keyword, in that case, concierge, and then it will write the whole thing. So if I say, I'd like you to try our concierge. Turn off typing. It types the whole thing, Client Concierge Service Bot. Also, if names that I use for people, for instance, my friend Catherine, she spells it with a K. So if I say Catherine, Catherine, you can see it said C-A-T-H, but it wrote K-A-T-H-R-Y-N. So you can do that for a word. For instance, another one, videos, Speechio, Dictanote, Dynalist. It never gets any of those. So what I did is I replaced those words with a word that reminds me of that word. In this case, videos, I'm guilty. And then Delta. I use the Army's, U.S. Army's Alpha, Bravo, Delta, Charlie, those words, because they're already made to be pronounced clearly. So I use Delta. So I use Delta Video instead of videos. I use Delta Speech for Speechio, the program we use, Delta Note, Delta List. So similarly, when I'm typing, I can say, really likes the video we did for her in Delta Video. And the automated voiceover we did in Delta Speech. All through the concierge interface. So there I've used 3 different presets to type that sentence with unique words that wouldn't be typed otherwise. It's extremely useful. You can type an entire page. So if you were, for instance, a lawyer or some sort of professional and you had boilerplate copy that you wanted to put down each time or often, you could simply use that word, boilerplate number 1, or lawyer close number 2, or client close number 3, that kind of thing. You say client close number 3, and it's going to write down all you have. Now, I haven't tested how long you can make a command, but I believe you can make it a whole page. And so this is very, very useful. We use this all the time. So it further speeds up your typing by allowing you to say words, phrases, and other lists that the voice typing will not do. Now, while voice in typing works on any field in Chrome that you're using, well, not any, but most, especially the pay version, you've also been seeing me use a program called Dictanote. It's the sister program to voice in typing, same company. And in fact, I was using voice in typing to type in Dictanote. This is Dictanote. Again, it's very simple. Not a ton of features. It's like a word processor, but it has some basic features such as fonts and font changes and sizes, but it doesn't go crazy with all kinds of things. And I don't really use many of those features. I mainly use this as an area for typing, for taking text somewhere else. In fact, we create a notebook called Scratchpad. Scratchpad is, as it suggests, a place that you can scratch down stuff, but it's temporary because you're going to go take that and put it in something else. You're going to go put it in social media, in a comment, or in a post. You're going to go put it into an email, a letter. You're going to go put it into a website or into a government site of some sort. So I do most of my typing here with voice and the other controls that I use to make it easy. It's faster. Anything longer than a sentence, and I'll do it here. Even frankly, a sentence, I'll do it here sometimes as well. And while you can use the voice type tool here, I use the voice in type to type in here because it uses the presets I already have, and there's a few other reasons as well. But basically speaking, this gives you a pad on which to do your typing that's very simple. And again, I can then share that wherever I want to, or take that text and copy it to somewhere else. And that's exactly what I do. And the same functions are available here. The voice commands I just said, the shortcuts, and the transcription. Now, one of the key things that this does that voice in typing doesn't do is transcription. Transcription is a really powerful feature that comes with this. And all you do is upload your audio. In fact, it's got here.
Thank you.
An example.
I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world.
Of course, that sounds like Steve Jobs. So yes, they submitted that and it did it up to 90% accuracy. I should note that this program for both the speech recognition and transcription uses Google's data sets, as do many other programs. They are universally available for free, at a certain level, and then you pay beyond that. But the power behind these tools is Google, and that means it's constantly improving as well, which is really important. Dictanote offers transcription services for 10 cents a minute, which is a fantastically low price compared to what it costs. Some places cost as much as $1 to $2 per minute. So this is really inexpensive. And then you just add money to your account and you can do your transcription. I've used it a number of times. It's very good. Again, it uses Google's transcription algorithm, so it's very, very good. It's the best in class. They just use the interface here. But it's a neat add-on to this program that makes it really useful. Then you have dark mode, which of course, some people really like that, and I do too. I use it often. The pay version, you can do multiple notepads, and in a given notepad, for instance, this is our ongoing work pad, I can then do a new note. And here's all the notes I have for that at this time. So you can add more notes. I suggest you make a scratch pad notebook, and then you don't put anything else in that notebook. You just use Scratchpad and you copy stuff in and out of it. So now I'm going back to Scratchpad. I'm going to put some text in. And once you're done your text, there's a great little tool up in the right here, Cut to Clipboard. Now, the good news is Dictanote is available on all of these platforms. So you have Windows, Mac, even Linux, Chrome OS, of course, and Android and iOS. I strongly recommend you use it on your phone because, again, one of the most powerful features is that it doesn't turn off the voice dictation. The voice dictation stays on, and so you can be thinking about what you're saying and then start saying it. Using the app on your phone is a great way to write text that's longer than one sentence. Full stop. So that's really, really useful. So it has the same features too. So if you have a note scratchpad here, you have it on your phone. So if you're, again, doing a lot of text on your phone, rather than do it in the tiny little box that you get when you're on social, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, you can go do the text here, press the little scissors, go to the text box on your social and paste it in there. This is a far better tool on your phone for creating text that's longer than a sentence, and I strongly recommend. And the fact that it's available on all of those platforms just makes it an easier recommendation. So, Dictanote, voice and typing are the first two key things that we use. The next tool I want to show you is called Change Case. This tool is as simple as it gets. It does exactly what it says. It changes the case of your text. But this is something that we work with all the time because if you have words that are all caps, you've got words that are title case, that is, the first word is capitalized. These are things we use a lot. So this program allows you to create a shortcut in Chrome. There it is, change case. But then you don't actually need to use that. After that, you use keyboard shortcuts. So we have keyboard shortcuts that we set up. You can see those below on the list. So there are two key things you need to set up for change case: the ignore list and the correct list. The ignore list is things you don't want to be capitalized. So for instance, the words I call joining words, of, to, but, if, or. These are the ones that I've picked, and these will have down below on the loom so you can copy them and use them. You may not use all of these. So for instance, if you do title case, any of these won't be changed when you do that. The correct list are ones that exactly the opposite. So if I say URL, it's going to make it capital. If I say DSS, it's going to make it capital, right? And it's going to replace that with this. And so if you have things like bot or URL or DSS, these are things specific to us, or QR like in QR code, it's going to make those capitalized. So that's another useful list. You can put your own commands in there. And then finally, the most important part, the commands itself, change case here. These are the key ones we use. And I recommend you don't change these. You can change these to other things, but I recommend you use these ones. For uppercase, Control U for uppercase. Control L gives you lowercase. Control T gives you title case. Again, it's showing you on the left here exactly what they are. And sentence case. I don't use the rest of these. I don't even know what most of them are, to tell you the truth. Toggle case, that's interesting. But these ones you use all the time, especially title case and uppercase, right? So again, when you're using that with your Dictanote, it's extremely useful to be able to do that, right? So I want to have concierge all capitals. I do Control U and it's all capitals. I want to have this line as title case. Now I'm going to make it a title. I like to try client concierge trying service bot. So let's just do that. I like to try R. I want that to be all title case. Control T. Now it's all except for the 2, which it didn't do. So one, remembering the shortcuts, control, that's pretty easy. Control T for title, Control U for upper, Control L for lower, makes it so that it's really fast to do. So you've voice typed the stuff. Now I can go in, say I want to highlight that word that I use. So not only did I use the voice type to type that word from a keyword, but now I can make it all caps in that way. It's a great tool to go along with voice type because you have to change cases a lot for stuff. And it's really a pain, especially title case, right? And it's sloppy. I see it all the time. People have videos on YouTube or other stuff where they don't do title case. It just looks unprofessional, right? It's lower caps. You don't do that if you want to be professional. It's the difference between a professional look and an average person, right? People expect from professionals that the title has title case. The name of a video is title case. They expect certain things to be all caps. I mean, this is the difference between sloppiness and precision. And this tool is extremely powerful for doing that. The final tool we're going to discuss today is Grammarly. Now, I don't know if you use Grammarly or not. It does have a free version that's pretty powerful. Again, I recommend you buy it. The add-ons that you get in regards to language are very powerful. It suggests sentence restructuring and things like that rather than just spelling and other stuff. So yes, Grammarly is definitely worth buying, especially the last version that they've updated, because while you can use the Grammarly scratchpad here, and I have used that before, I would rather use Dictanote because it has the other features that I told you about. So we use Dictanote, and Grammarly now works with a contextual menu, which is a right menu like that, as you can see, a pop-up menu in any given text field. So in fact, it'll pop up just like voice and typing will in any text field, virtually any text field that you're using in your social media or content creation or email or anything like that. So it'll pop up where there's text. Now, it does more than just the dynamic underlining, which is very useful. If I click here over on the bottom right of the text, you can see I can turn it off if I don't want to use it. It gives me, see how your text may sound, but this is the one we want to click. It's going to pop up the contextual menu, and now it's going to give me the corrections it suggests. So I'm going to start. Catherine really liked to have this, and it likes doing commas, that's for sure. The things. Now here's the blue sentence. This is one of the powerful features I was mentioning. It's suggesting how I could restructure this sentence. When we measure things, most people only worry about how accurate or close to the actual value they are. As opposed to what I said, when we measure things, most people are only worrying about how accurate or how close to that. So this one's better. I'm going to use it, rephrased. The rephrasing, I'm not sure if it's available in the free version. I don't think it is. That's one of the main value propositions I use here. Also, add a transition phrase. This is a relatively new thing they've added. So it wants me to add to this looking at the process of measurement, however looking at the process, so I'm going to do that. Transition statement. And then measurement process. It just makes your words more refined. I take 90% of the suggestions it does. One of the things it does that I don't necessarily take, it likes hyphenating things. Everything. It really likes hyphens. I don't know what the accuracy of that, but I don't take all of them. Doesn't like my comma here. I'm going to take that out. Doesn't like my comma there either. Okay, it's asking me now, because the comma's gone, to restructure this. I'm going to just do it for now. And there it is. I am done. With the use of voice typing, changing cases, and Grammarly to correct it. Now I've done this text, I can clip it there. It's already copied to my voice, or to my clipboard, and I can go put it wherever I want. Those three tools are extremely powerful. And when you add in the mobile version of Dictanote, you have a very, very powerful tool. In a world where speed and precision are the calling cards of global influencers, having the tactical advantage to use these tools gives you an edge. Don't settle. Do work you love. Design your future. And monetize your story.